How's it going, everyone? Want to talk a little bit about the big speculation that has been coming up recently, and obviously at this point I think all of you guys have heard about the restructuring of 343, the rebranding of 343 to the Halo team, and them working on multiple Halo games. I think that is rather interesting, but also very interesting is the shift to Unreal Engine 5 from the Slipspace engine, which was done and used for Halo in the past. Now, it'll be easier for them to recruit people to come onto 343, I should say, the Halo team, to work on them, because Unreal Engine is this universal engine that a lot of game developers have used, rather than bring people on, learning Slipspace, etc., etc. However, it's also going to provide for an easier time porting these games. If they do want to port Halo to other platforms using Unreal Engine 5 is rather interesting. That has created the speculation that Halo, as far as the future titles are concerned, may at some point be ported to PlayStation 5. Now, since we've been talking about the Xbox games coming to PlayStation 5, it has been a big talking point. I certainly see a lot of Xbox fans getting a little bit concerned if the Xbox is their primary console, and you do have this idea of the exclusive wars and so on and so forth, which platform has better exclusives. Phil Spencer himself has said that he sees exclusives being less and less a part of the core business model as far as consoles are concerned as the years go by. I'm paraphrasing, but you get the idea. PlayStation has already seen the release of major exclusives, like Sea of Thieves is a major exclusive. Hi-Fi Rush, a smaller scale exclusive, but you had the release of that. We know that Indiana Jones is only going to be a timed exclusive on Xbox for 6 months. Doom the Dark Ages is going to come day one. A lot of these games are going to go multi-platform, and Halo is one of those IPs that I've looked at, and I have said in previous videos that I think it would do a lot of good for Halo Infinite to get ported to PlayStation 5, even if it is just the multiplayer component, because that is a live service game, and it would give that game a second wind and a resurgence. As I do think about it even more, I think the conversation could be had that you just accept Halo Infinite as a bit of an L. Right now, there's the rumblings that the game is profitable. However, Halo Infinite is not what ultimately I imagine Microsoft wants out of Halo. In that juggernaut IP, that cultural icon, Halo and Master Chief is not that anymore. It's lost a lot of its luster after really Halo 5 into Halo Infinite. I think there's been a lot of damage done to the Halo brand, and I think that also correlates with the fact that Xbox has just gotten far weaker as a platform than it was in the past. But if you guys were growing up around the time I was growing up in the mid to late 2000s, Halo 2, Halo 3. You guys remember the banners and the promotion that was going around for Halo 3? The incredible trailer and commercial for Halo Reach that was airing? Maybe I'm being a little bit too nostalgic and I'm romanticizing things, but Halo back in the day was at a far bigger level, and Halo as an IP has lost so much steam. However, I do always think with an IP that does have as much history as Halo does, there are opportunities to revitalize it. There are opportunities to bring it back to the forefront. And I do think the first time Halo does come to PlayStation 5 or whatever PlayStation platform, it will be a big release, and on top of that, it'll ultimately have a lot of interest. The idea of Master Chief, this character that's integral to the Xbox brand, it appearing on PlayStation, that alone would be a huge deal. Now, obviously, the game would be of quality, but if you would want to elevate the interest of an upcoming Halo title, that is one surefire way to do so, and I do think that limiting the game as far as the console market goes to just Xbox, that is a little bit of a problem, because Xbox as a platform is just so weak. So do you value getting Halo over as an IP more, or do you value trying to make a high quality game in Halo to get people into that Xbox ecosystem? And how do you define that ecosystem at this point? Is it more so a Game Pass thing, or is it the Xbox platforms? That's a question that we've had for a long time. I don't think PlayStation at any time in the near future is going to go the route of porting their games to Xbox, and I will look at something as obvious as Lego Horizons, a game like that being published by Sony, and oh boy, that game's coming to Nintendo Switch, but we're not even gonna give Xbox and Microsoft the crumbs to get Lego Horizons. but we'll take the Hi-Fi Rush, we'll take the Sea of Thieves, we'll take Indiana Jones, we'll take Doom the Dark Ages. Like, Sony and PlayStation, they're making out like bandits here because they're just getting these games now anyway after Microsoft had acquired Bethesda, and I imagine Elder Scrolls is going to be on PlayStation as well. Elder Scrolls 6, that is, because you want these games to be profitable. Halo, Gears, Forza, and there's still the rumbling that Forza Horizon 5 is going to come to PlayStation at that point, at some point. But Gears, Halo, Forza, those are like the big three Xbox franchises, and maybe at a secondary level throw Fable in there. I say secondary for Fable just because Fable has been MIA for so long, but once we see those franchises come to PlayStation, I think that is a huge wake-up call, and that's gonna be like, oh man, things are really changing, and I don't think the inverse is gonna be true. I don't see a God of War, a Spider-Man, a Horizon ever going to Xbox, just not in the near future. Would I like it? Sure. I'm all for the games being available on more platforms that people can play these games on. When you also look at the story, it looks like Halo has multiple games in the pipeline. I would imagine one of those games is the next mainline entry, but one of them is also a ground-up remake of Halo 1. And if you want to get people excited about Halo and into Halo, that's a pretty damn good way to do so. You remake Halo 1 from the ground up, cross-platform multiplayer, have it on PlayStation 5 right out the gate. You want to get a new audience that have been lifelong PlayStation guys, well now you're offering the first game in the franchise remade and built ground up. Whether it be PS5, PS6, I don't know, but that seems to be a surefire way to revitalize the IP. I just think going back to your roots is a great idea, and I think Gears of War E-Day is a great way to revitalize Gears of War when you're bringing back iconic characters like Marcus and Dom. That just makes all the sense in the world for these franchises that have been lagging for a while, that have been on the downslide. And I don't know what you want to point to as far as Halo and Gears. I think it's a multitude of things. I think it's a marriage of Xbox as a platform just being weaker and Microsoft doing a lot of bad decisions with Xbox, and that just is going to cause less people to check those games out. But I also think the Halo titles recently, while I loved Halo Infinite, and Halo Infinite is literally one of my most played games on Steam, it just didn't resonate with a lot of people right out the gate when interest is going to be at the highest. Yes, it's gotten content rollout, so on and so forth, but as far as offering all of those elements that people want out of Halo, it was lacking in content. And if you remember when Halo Infinite initially dropped, there was that surge of interest. Initially, it had a lot of buzz, free-to-play multiplayer, a lot of people were checking it out. Ultimately, it wasn't sustainable because of the game quality. Well, now you're gonna have another opportunity, and I think Halo is always gonna be one of those franchises that has a sizable amount of appeal, that you're always going to be able to attract a large number of people. But if you really want to revitalize the franchise and encourage a lot more new people to check it out, I do think doing a Halo game on PlayStation 5 makes so much sense, or porting it to PS5, and I would even argue offer it to PS5 day one. If you really, priority should be, let's try to get Halo back to what Halo was and do something like a Halo 1 remake day one on PS5. I think that could really revitalize Halo as an IP. As long as the game is good, a Halo 1 remake doesn't have to be on PS5 day one. It could be on PC and Xbox, and as long as it's good, I think people will check it out in droves and be incredibly excited for it. I think just offering it on PlayStation 5 right out the gate would add another layer to it. I mean, I've been saying I think Sony should release their games on PC day one, and I think they would do much, much better. But PlayStation and Sony, they're very much invested into getting you into that ecosystem. I don't know how much more invested Xbox is going to be in getting you into that Xbox ecosystem outside of them starting to become something more of a games publisher, and they've got their hands in a variety of different areas where they do have the console, but they're also publishing multi-platform games. They also do have the subscription service in Game Pass that they're looking at that as its own ecosystem. They're going a lot of different directions, and I don't think a Halo title coming to PlayStation 5, especially if it's a delayed release, I think that's a formality that at some point in the next however many years that is going to happen. How soon, I don't know, but I really do believe Halo on PlayStation is going to be a reality. And I think the best bet, if you're not going to do Infinite, if you're already gonna kind of just take Infinite as what it is, it's probably not going to be a game that's really going to get a second win. Well, how do we really revitalize this franchise outside of the next mainline entry? A one remake, I just think makes so much sense, and if it's on PS5, it would just be a great way to really hype up Halo and get people even more invested into the franchise. There's always going to be a level of investment towards Halo because that franchise is just so iconic, but get people excited about Halo. I think a remake on PC and Xbox that's well done, it could do a lot and it would be enough. But if it was on PlayStation right away as well, I think you're just adding a huge extra layer to it that'll get people even more excited. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. This is mainly just speculation, but looking at the fact that they're shifting to Unreal Engine 5 and looking at all of the other context of Xbox publishing their games and a lot of these games that could have been exclusive coming to PlayStation 5 as well, I think it's a formality that at some point in some form Halo is going to drop on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 6, PlayStation in general. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.